afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Your Honor, kings, queens. In traditional African custom, I'm going to speak Swahili. Hamjambo.
Si jambo.
Hamjambo. All right. Moments like these, I usually take and convert into a teachable moment. For those who might not have understood what I said, when I say Hamjambo, I'm greeting you and saying, hello, good evening. Your reply must be Atujambo. The reason is because if I say Jambo, I'm speaking in a singular term, to an individual. When I say I'm Jambo, I'm speaking to my gathering. Your reply should be Atu Jambo. I'm Jambo.
Atu jambo.
I'm Jambo.
Atu jambo.
I'm going to ask you another question. Umpreye.
Jimbro.
Aye. Umpreye.
Jimbro.
Now I need you to say that as if you want to be here and as if you're here. Umpreye.
Jimbra.
Wonderful. I'm going to now call on the ancestors to be amidst us because in traditional custom we usually invite the ancestors to be with us in any gathering that we have. Because had it not been for those ancestors who are dead and gone, we would not be here today. And we who are here today determine the future generation to come. So it is only fitting that we invite the spirits of ancestors to join us and to ask us for their blessing and to guide us for the ceremony without bloodshed and in peace and harmony. And in doing that, I'm going to use water. So water is very important because in every single living thing, water is in the body of that thing. And so since water is so symbolic and important, we're going to use water today as the inviting spirit for the ancestors. We sometimes use wine, red wine. Red wine represents the color red represents blood, which is that which is passed on from generation to generation to generation. And your bloodline is passed on. And this is why we can trace our DNA today, way back to the motherland in Africa. Because the blood of our ancestors has been transferred to us, and we in turn will transfer it to our children and children to come. Good. And as I offer libation to the ground, I would ask all of you to Tafadali Simama. Tafadali means please in Swahili. Simama means stand. Tafadali Simama. And when I say Tafadali Kakako, please sit down. Now, Tafadali Simama. As I offer libation to the ground, I say, O Baba watu weusi kuliko tukuli. Waze kwa maarifu mengi. Tusaidie kupigana kila vita. Tusaidie kujua kwa ujamaa na amani. Njia ya Kiafrika ya sekulari. Tusaidie siku hizi za taabu. O Baba watu. Tafadhali. Asante sana. Means thank you very much. Tafadhali. Tako, please take your seat. Invited the spirits of ancestors to be with us, and from now on we can proceed in our ceremony because we have asked them to guide us through the ceremony without bloodshed and in peace, we live here in peace and harmony. I want to pass on queens from Africa. Bearing in mind that royalty by the white people were copied from Africans. We had royalty from the beginning. They have copied everything that was so dignified about African people and make it look, they're selling it back to us now as if we're the ones copying or assuming that our people are royal. Nonsense. Royalty was born in Africa. Africa had royalty from the inception. White men went to Africa and copied every single thing, including religion, and converted it to their own manner and sold it back to us here as slaves. So now we become their actual, village. That was wrong. And that wrong has to be rewritten and made right. Brother Phillips, the courses you're chartering, I need you to include that as part of your agenda. That white folks who enslaved us has to right that wrong sometime, along with our quest for people. Along with our quest for reparations, that must be part. That's the day stand. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Boyle, for a job well done. I am certain that many persons would have learned something there, all right? And in the teaching, it's for us to be empowered, all right? To be proud of who we are as African brothers and sisters. Do not shy away from it. We were born in it. Right there we are going through. Our foreparents would have set that foundation for us. And we ought to live up to it. All right? So, thank you for the education through the libation ceremony. At this point, we'll call on a special person. All right? If many persons usually follow what is happening, we hear one person primarily speaks about reparations. All right, reparation in Guyana, and for the black people, the people of African descent, and so on. All right, we know there are many organizations that represent this after Ipalaji, the Assembly for Guyana, and all the others. All right, but when we talk about anything African, it talks about a person. That is no other than Mr. Eric Phillips. So
thank you, Mr. Ceremonies. Jambo. It's indeed a great honor to be here in Buxton, which is the heart and soul of Africa in Guyana. Today is a very special day, and of course with our royal kings and queens here, I start by saluting them. Excellencies, thank you for being in Buxton. And Buxton, thank you for having us. Yes, we are about reparations. And reparations means repair. Self-repair, which means we love ourselves, we work together, we buy from each other, we work as a community. Of course, we also need financial repair because 473,000 Africans died in Guyana. Over 200 years of slavery, of enslavement, crime against humanity. and we cleared 15,000 square miles. Africans in Guyana cleared more land in the worst conditions than all the other countries of the Caribbean cleared. 18% of Guyana. And it's my commitment to you that we will be repaired both financially and spiritually. The spiritual repair is connecting back to Africa. And so kings and queens and princesses and businesswomen and men will help us with that repair. Because until we're connected back to Africa, we will never be repaired. The Chinese, regardless of where they go over the world, go back to China. Indians go back to India for their source. We need to go back to Africa to be grounded, to be aligned with our gods, with our language, with our culture. And so the Guyana Reparations Committee is proud to be part of a CARICOM process, bringing kings and queens and other royalty to the Caribbean. And I commit to you that within a few years, we will be repaired financially in Guyana. Indigenous people in Guyana have been repaired. 70,000 indigenous people now own about 19% of Guyana. While we were here enslaved, we can only document 20,000 indigenous people. We also know that in Guyana, there are 9 indigenous groups. 3 of those indigenous groups, the Waiwais, the Makushis, and the Wapishanas, came to Guyana 100 to 200 years after we were brought here. And yet, they have been given land. They have been given reparations. We're the ones who died for Guyana. We're the ones whose bones and blood and sweat and tears built this nation. Others have come after us, and they've benefited from our lives, from our hard work. And today we see this generational gap that is mind-boggling. There were 7 oil blocks given out to Guyanese. 6 went to Indians, 1 went to a Portuguese who had roots in Buxton. We who died, 473,000, we got nothing. And each one of those oil blocks is worth over $100 billion US. So we keep speaking about one Guyana, and that's only possible if all Guyanese have equal access and all Guyanese have equal opportunity. And so my commitment to you is that our organization will work to get 18% of Guyana for African Guyanese. Not only we deserve it, it's legally right. The Amerindian Act of 2006 was a precedent. It was done after independence. Former President Jagdeo signed that in 2006. So the state of Guyana gave reparations to Amerindians. And so the state of Guyana must give reparations to Africa. Generational wealth. Our ancestors bought over 200 plantations and turned them into villages, of which Buxton is one of the premier villages. You should put your hands together for yourself. Buxton stopped training. About 10 years ago, Buxton also stood up for African Guyanese. And I know that the heart and soul of the reparations movement will be backed by Buxton. I know that. During those dark days, Sister Yvette Heron, let's put our hands together for her. I came to Buxton 3 days a week to work with young people at a school. My life was threatened 9 times. There were 2 attempts. But we prevailed, and Buxton prevailed. And it was through myself and a few others, we brought the army into Buxton to make peace. And that happened. I am a part of Buxton, as I'm a part of Guyana, as are all African Guyanese. Our royal delegation is here to celebrate emancipation with us. Emancipation was the first freedom we got in 1838. We don't come from 1830 because we had apprenticeship. We come from 1838. But that freedom was not whole. If you're free and you're broke, you're not free. And that's what happened in 1838. We were free and broke. And the village movement, which is the greatest entrepreneurial exercise in any country in the Caribbean, was in Guyana, and Buxton was part of that, the second village to be bought. And then we had independence in 1966. And that was another type of freedom. But if you're free, you're not free. And that's what independence was. We were free, but in debt. So the third emancipation is going to be reparations. Because we'll be free, and we'll have economic sustainability, we'll have land which is generational wealth, and we can buy from ourselves, and work for ourselves, and build a city for ourselves, because we have that DNA from the great African civilizations that came before us. That's what we need to do. We don't need others. We've always been the best. The village movement was done by us, no one else. And so we know what it takes. We don't even know who we are. If we knew who we are and who we were, we wouldn't be depressed, because we know that in us, that DNA will allow us to accomplish anything we dream. But we need land, we need justice. This is the International Decade for People of African Descent. Its theme is justice, is recognition, justice, and development. And that's the theme of reparations. Recognize the crime, give us justice through reparations, and we'll do our own development. So I thank you for having us, and I'll beg permission from the MC. I know if I wanted to introduce the delegation. I don't know if that's in sequence.
It's not a secret, but you can go right ahead.
Yes, thank you so much. I'd like to turn the phone over to His Royal Highness Paul Iganda, President of IDO, who will introduce you to the delegation.
We come in peace and love. I would like to correct the MC, Madam, that he is not Mr. Eric. He is Chief Eric Phillips. because that is our language. Thank you. I sow the seed. May I also take this chance for us to remember our ancestors, especially the most recent, who came together to buy this land that we are able to see now. And we please observe a minute of silence. Thank you. Without our ancestors, you would not be sitting on that chair today. Without their wisdom to buy the land and bring us all together, maybe we would not be speaking like this. We have come all the way from Africa, so many days over the seas, forest. We did not come for nothing. We came because we love you. We came to reconnect with you. To repair. And share your pain. When you speak about royalty, most of you, some of you would be queens, princesses, and kings. Years ago, a white man came to Africa, raided our villages, captured our forefathers, put them on the ship, sold them to slave trade, became a plantation, and we are here today. Those ancestors, some were kings, chiefs, and queens. So, we are one. One people, one love. We share your love, we share the pain, and we are here to do whatever we can do to reconnect with you and call you back home, spiritually or even physically. Before I introduce my delegation, allow me to introduce Chief Philip Eric. You already know him. But the name he has says, gift from heaven. It's a gift from heaven. Your son, your brother, Chief Eric, came all the way to Africa. He spoke to us. He spoke to the traditional leaders. He spoke to the communities. He spoke their language. He spoke their voice. When he spoke, we had to come here today. We appreciate it. Chief Eric, after so many days, nights, sleepless nights, the ancestors, the elders, the kings, council in Africa, put him down and gave him a crown as a chief. He is your leader, anointed by the ancestors, blessed by all our kingdoms. We shall support him. We shall support you whenever you come, whenever we come. I take this opportunity to introduce my delegation. I'll start with the lady in yellow. Although she is from you, as of yesterday, she was adopted by our tribes, the Adegre tribes, and her new name is Princess Shibaki Apadit. The Maasai are part of our tribes. Nyangatom, Toposa in Ethiopia, South Sudan, Uganda, Eastern Kenya, and her king ruling all that area is His Royal Highness Papa Sunday Emolot. I would also like to acknowledge another Queen Mother. Please stand up. As of 2 days ago, she became a Queen Mother with the name Atiam. Atiam is a fighter. She will lead you and she will achieve. From today, even when you live, when you look at her, no, that's a beacon of hope. At her age, she has done so much that even as we were driving around the city, they were showing us the monuments and her work. Is called Princess Zepi Tong. She's a princess from South Africa, from the kingdom called Lebanon. She's a great-great-granddaughter of the famous Queen Tatizi, who is quoted as powerful as Shaka Zulu. She fought the slave traders, led the armies to defend your ancestors, your forefathers, when they came to raid their villages. She's an icon just like Shaka Zulu. That's the bloodline. Next to her is Lady Po Deni. She comes from the Lohoho Lesotho Kingdom. She's a business lady, entrepreneur, an investor, and she's you or some of us want to come and invest with you or partner with you. You could always take her contact and keep in touch through her or through Chief Eric Phillips. Thank you. To her is Her Royal Highness Queen Aminata Asale II from the United States of America. Queen Aminata is a descendant of slave trade like you. She grew up discriminated in America. She did research. Through her DNA, she traced her roots to us in Africa. When she came back, we received her. She lived with us, and we sent her back to America as our own. And she's back home and she's found her roots and she's at peace. She will tell you her story right now. Next to me is His Royal Highness Papa Emoro Iteso, Papa Sunday Emoro, the King of Antequera Nation. He presides over 1,556 tribes with a population of just about 17 million 2 years ago. Next to him is Chief Samson Esudu. He's our ambassador here in Guyana. He's also the chief of Ateker Kingdom, Chief Samson. The gentleman next to him is Chief Robinson. He comes from this area. His father was born just near here. Chief Robinson is one of those who came to Africa to trace his roots. The elders and the ancestors welcomed him, and he was also given a chieftain's title as Chief Robinson. Kindly stand up for recognition. Next to him is a young man, businessman. His name is David Emord. He's our chief of protocol, who makes sure that the royal protocol is observed at all times. The man speaking is His Royal Highness Paul Jones Uganda, also known as Papa Ateker Uganda the First. I am the president of Idol Network International, the organization that brings together 765 kingdoms in Africa. So I am the headmaster of the School of Kings and Queens in simple words. We are here as one team representing different kingdoms. I will ask Papa Sunday, who is the chairman of the umbrella of African Kings and Queens, who will give us a message from the traditional rulers from home. We have come to take you home, and we pray that through our spirit we connect and you go and find your roots. Emoria Koliai. Emoria Koliai. Thank you. Do I give the MC or Papa? MC, thank you. Sorry for taking much of your time, but it was necessary.
Sorry. And thank you, Your Royal Highness of Uganda, for introducing all your princes and princesses and your elders. Thank you very much. It's such a privilege for us to be in this. For us to be a part of this today, it is such a privilege. So thank you once again for that. At this time, we are going David Hines to do the reflection. But before we do, let us bring him in with some drums now. Right, bring him in.
Thank you, Sister Chairperson, Royal Highnesses, fellow villagers, and friends of Buxton. I want to say to our visitors that you're in Africa. In case you were wondering, you're in Africa. Side of the Middle Passage never stop being Africans. When our foreparents figured out that they could not swim back to Africa, they turned the Americas into Africa. Drums roll in unison, oh, you're in Africa. And so, Africa has always called us, and we have always called Africa. The great African movement of the 20th century sought to connect us with Africa. And when in 1900 they held the first Pan-African conference in Manchester, England, the moving spirit behind that conference was Henry Sylvester Williams, a barrister at law from Trinidad and Tobago, our Caribbean. In 1944, they held the Great Pan-African Conference again in Manchester, England. A conference that sought to map the independence of Africa. One of the moving spirits was Ras T. Macklin, who was born in this very village. As an African. And when in the 1960s, a wonderful, beautiful soul from this village, this country, changed its name from Sidney King to UNIAACL Guyana, the black man of Guyana. He started an African cultural revolution that vibrated throughout this country and throughout the Caribbean. Many of us sitting here today are his disciples. In Buxton and in Guyana for our children to have African names. It's commonplace for our children to have African names. We have never stopped being African. We created our own African languages. We call it Creolese or Creole, but they are African languages. African songs and African dances. We continue to be African 184 years after formal enslavement, and we are still Africans. And so we welcome you today as fellow travelers, fellow soldiers in the struggle for African dignity, in the continued struggle for African pride, in the continued struggle for African beauty. And when I talk about beauty, I'm not talking about the aesthetics. I'm talking about the beauty of the mind. The beauty of the mind. Because as Professor Nettleford of Jamaica said, we have not given this world skyscrapers and big, tall buildings. What we have given this world is our mind, the African mind. And that is why these small villages, these small islands of the Caribbean, these former outposts of enslavement could give the world the calypso. The calypso which came with us from West Africa, and we took it and turned it into a weapon of struggle here in the Caribbean. And as if that is not enough, when they brought the oil drums here during the Second World War to fuel their guns of war, we took those drums and turned them into the steel pan. We continue to be Africans. And then, as the 20th century waned, we saw in Kenya the Mau Mau rebels fighting with their native ear, and we adopted it into our glorious Rastafari movement. We continue. And today, we came from Africa, as I said, with our African songs. And in the 20th century, the latter part, we turned those African songs into a unique song that we call reggae, and we give it back to Africa as our gift to you, our brothers and sisters, so you can know a high life in Africa, which is reggae. At some point in the latter part of the 20th century, with the mad scramble for Africa, when our oppressors sat down somewhere in Europe and divided up Africa, it brought Africa and the diaspora together in one struggle against colonialism. We speak today not because we want to preach or we want to boast. We speak today to say that the resilience that we left Africa with, we have continued to use it. We have continued to demonstrate it. We have continued to use it to strengthen us so that we, together with you in Africa, to face the onslaught of the 21st century that don't need islands no more, and apparently don't need Africa no more. But we say to them that when civilization was started, it started somewhere that they called Africa, and we are all Africans. When we were at school, they taught us that Greek civilization was the mother of all civilizations. But we, through our brothers and sisters, Walter Rodney, Chancellor Williams, Alvan van Sortimer, we made them to know, as we would say in Guyana, that before the Greek civilization, they were African civilization. We continue here in Ghana and in the Caribbean to be teachers. And it is no accident, because as you know better than us, that the first university was in a place called Africa. We give this world knowledge. As I said in church this morning, to kick off our emancipation observances, that one thing we are certain of, that we left Africa with dignity. We went through centuries of enslavement, and we came out of that enslavement with our dignity intact. When I say dignity, I mean pride, uprightness, pride. That when our foreparents, barely a couple of years out of enslavement, they pooled their little monies and they bought land. And they turned those lands into these villages, hundreds of them. And the first thing they did was to create their churches. And next to their churches, they put their schools. And then they divided these lands in a democratic way. In the front of the villages, each family had a plot of land to live on. And in the back, the farmlands, each family had 2 plots. You can't get more democratic than that. We Africans are the original And then we use the knowledge that persevered for over 200 years. They never killed it. We created our economy. We created the markets because, you see, we always imagined Africa. So when we came out of bondage, it was easy for us to create an economy and to plant and sell in the open marketplace. We are the pioneers of entrepreneurship in this country. That dignity means that you don't beg. Our foreparents never begged for a cent to buy these villages. They never begged for a cent to develop these villages. They never went to the bank to ask for a cent. In fact, after emancipation, when some of the slave masters went bankrupt, our foreparents loaned them money, the epitome of love. People who enslave you, brutalize you, you share your love with them. Humanity is the hallmark of the African. We don't have the monopoly on humanity, but we can write the script on what it is to be human, what it is to be human. These hallowed grounds. It was in this building, in another iteration, that in 1964, 48 years ago, UNIAACL Guyana took up a collection here at Tipperary Hall and made the first contribution from the English-speaking Caribbean to the freedom fighters. Our village, Buxton, did that in 1964 before any government began to do it. He visited several African countries in 1964. We welcome you full of our African identity. We welcome you full of everything that is wonderful of Africa. We have to fuse the Igbo with the Yoruba. We have to fuse the Fulani with the Akha, because we have to survive here, and that is why we use the word mati. It means mate. Once our foreparents got on that ship, what was common among them, it was not their tribe, but their skin color and their Africanness. So we are the coming together of all of Africa here in the diaspora. You're speaking fluent Swahili. It was commonplace not too long ago to walk the streets in this village and say, I'm Jambo, si Jambo. And that there were 3 sisters, 3 students from this village who more than 40 years ago wrote Swahili at the GCE examination, the first in the African diaspora to do so, and they were from this small little village called Buxton. So, my brothers and sisters, on behalf of these beautiful people, these beautiful black African people, these beautiful survivors, the black survivors, I welcome you home. I welcome you home. I welcome you home because Africa was not always the physical Africa, but it was always the mental Africa. And so know that you are not just among friends. You're among brothers and sisters. You're among fellow travelers, one for all for one. In my generation, remember, in this village we had 2 lorries, they call them canters now. One was called Sir Abu Bakr, my generation. And the other was called Joe Kenyatta. Of Africa. They named their children, they named their modes of transportation after Africans. We love you in Africa because we love ourselves. We know that you have visited several parts of our beautiful country, but Brother Eric insisted that you come here. And he insisted that you come here for a special reason. Because as custodians of the African culture, as custodians of the African dignity, as custodians of the African identity, we here in Buxton continue always to nurture fairness over Africa. We also hold these fists and clench them tightly, because the Africa that we carry with across the Middle Passage is in there like a weapon in our hands. Wherever we go, we raise our fists and we say, black, oh, black is beautiful.
Africa is our motherland.
Utachinda Birishaka.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Hines. Hello. Come on, let us give it up again for Dr. Hines. You're not here by accident. Today is a day of knowledge. We had lots of teachable moments today. Huh? Would you agree with me? Positions. We have been sitting nicely there for a long time. So now you can just stand in switching positions for a bit. Thank you very much. So let us stand. Folk songs, somebody your folk songs.
Oh, Dios mío, mi espalda.
Remember, we have to keep our tradition alive.
Family, over there. We are going to serenade our kings and queens, our royalty from the motherland of Africa. We are going to celebrate them in Buxton style. But first, I would like our royalty to understand. I want to reinstate what Brother David said. You are in Africa. It's just that we get miles and miles away from the motherland, but it's Africa. I'm going to tell you what. But this village is called Buxton. Originally, it was called Orange Nassau. And then they renamed it after one of the white guys who said, look, you don't want to see people this be slave no more. Let me ask them about tribulation or whatever like. Named Buxton. And like as our dignity extended, we decided, well look, we're going to honor this guy by renaming this village and call it Buxton. So come to change our original side. Buxton. But Buxton people are particular people. They are particular people. And you get enough strength and are you bad. You know why? Because after Buxton was bought, them Africans that bought Buxton didn't just lie down and sleep. No. They said we want our own village. We want our own chairman. We want our own monument. And we want our own anthem. I'm going to sing for you the anthem the Buxtonians wrote in honor of their ancestors to commemorate 100 years after slavery, after emancipation. And that song is called the Buxton Battle Song. And it goes like this. I'm going to try to convince you now that this is part of Africa. Watch. My grandmother would have said to you, in South Africa, when they want to serenade kings and queens, they say, we
So we call it all the nations now. Nation now,
the Europeans, or what we say, the white man, they would have always hidden that from us. All right? And a piece of history which they would have hidden from us also is that the Amerindians were the first people. Now tell me, Amerindians are people who are known to be timid and afraid of people. So how did they be till there? Despite we know that they were going hunting for their food. How did they get there? They had to come and meet people. They were afraid of those people, so they moved to the interior location. Would you agree with me? If we do not preserve our history and our tradition and pass it on, teach it to our young generation, we'll be walking around and don't even know our identity. All right? So bear that in mind. I am proud and always will be proud to stand as an African. And also, Buxton, the only military text in the bill. You know that? So give it up again. So now we will call on Chief Eric. Come on. We have our own. Give it up to our own.
Thank you. I told our delegation that they had to come to Buxton. Buxton, they must come to Buxton. What I should have said is that you come into Africa. So put your hands together, Buxton. Heart and soul. Our kings and queens, whenever they visit an African community, especially a community like Buxton, they're inspired by their ancestors to react. And so without any further ado, I will hand this microphone over to His Royal Highness Uganda, so that the spirits can do what they want to do.
Thank you so much. I was so impressed with the language, the songs. The doctor, you are very impressive. You have done all you can to make sure that you remember our ancestors, the journey. The songs were really beautiful. This is the first village that actually speaks more African than the one to God. We would like to leave this place with something to remember. As our tradition goes, we are the servants of our ancestors. We do not speak for ourselves. We are sent to do what we have to do. Today, as we live here, in memory of our beast, we would like to leave you with something. We've got an organization called DACA in America, called Diaspora African Kingdoms Alliances. That organization, which is a Pan-African, brings all our people who would like to reconnect with Africa through their kingdoms and through their DNA back to Africa. Her Royal Highness Queen Aminata, standing up there, is the CEO. So if you need to reconnect in any way or form, you could always contact her through Chief Eric Phillips. May I take this opportunity, the power given to me by my ancestors, to invite two people in front. Yvette Herod, please come forward. And David Hicks. David, please come forward. David, please come forward. Come with your chair. Please come with your chair. Come with your chair. Get your chair. Bring your chairs, please. Please sit and face your people. Papa Obuni. And the powers given to us, witnessed by the chairman of African Kingdom, Papa Sande Kumolo. I hereby give the name Uhuru to David. Uhuru, that is your new name. Uhuru means independence. Uhuru Kenyatta. Uhuru. David, as of today, confer the title of a chief of Buxton. You work closely with Chief Eric Phillips. You are the chief of Buxton. I hereby, as a memory, symbol, powerful, if a king gives you what is his, that means you are going to keep the journey. What is going to happen is going to be unusual. So, Chief David. Her name will be Akisa.
Brother Dave, you have done it all. On behalf of our ancestors, we give you what you state as a symbol of authority to lead your people. the Son, and the Holy Spirit. The man of the people. Like I said, I've given you that public to put that around you as a symbol of authority as a man of the people. To lead your people beside the great leader. We do it in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Wow. What an amazing day. I think we need first of all to thank God for this day. We have done it all on our behalf. And on behalf of the people of Africa, the kingdoms, we'd like to say we are one people. Thank you so much with that emotional history. And we'd like to thank you, our brother Eric. I wish that informed us earlier that where we are going to go. And however, I'd like to thank you so much. That this place of Buxton is where we have really discovered our real identity as one people. Today I've proved it myself. Because a few years ago, 3-4 years, I had my own daughter, the first one. She's doing medicine, but she opted to come and do her research in the Caribbean, in St. Martin's Caribbean University. And he told me a lot of history about the Caribbean. And indeed, today we have proved that we are one. We'd like to appreciate that today is a very important day to us. We have come at the time when you people are celebrating Emancipation Day. And it is very important in the history of the Afro-Guyanese that that is the day you people resisted the injustices against our people. We are really humbled to be part and parcel of this celebration, and we say Happy Emancipation Day. When you are happy and joyful, you lose what to say. But above all, we like to say we appreciate you people very, very much in Africa. The way you have brought the young people. You know, for us historically as Africans, a drum is an instrument which is very, very important in our country. It is the drum which brings all people together. If a drum is beaten in a village, nobody remains out. Everybody will run where the drum has been beat from. So it's a symbol of unity, a symbol of togetherness. And we listen to these young people. We believe tomorrow, you people are not there. These children will carry the mantle. They will continue telling the stories of their ancestors, that this is the way it used to be done. I want to thank you so much, the young men. Please continue, and may God bless you, so that you will inherit what the ancestors have done, and also take their advice seriously. We are so proud, very, very proud because of you. What you have shown us here. Now when we relate with the liberation struggles, like what our brother has said about the Mamau. The Mamau inspired so many countries to resist colonial rule. And up to today is one of the leading commanders, the Rastaman. Then Timothy. The family had failed to recover where the white man buried him. They buried him with the handcuffs. The family has tried as much as they can, but they have failed to trace where the grave of this important man was buried. And I cannot believe that it is of the same spirit that our forefathers in the Afro-Ghanaian here stood against the injustices of the white man. And it is on that note that we have brought peace to these young people. With those few remarks, I don't want too much, but only to say we appreciate and thank you for that beautiful educative history. May God bless you as you people continue to lead our people. Memoria, Gullaribbean.
Please come down. Chief Robinson, please come down. Great Mother Atiam, please come down. Princess Apadet, please join the chief. In Guyana, we only have 4 chiefs. These are the real chiefs that have been blessed through our lineage. Anybody outside that is an internet chief. They do not carry the title and they will not carry the powers. No enemy of yours will succeed. By the stick you are holding, and that cloth is anointed. You took it from my body and came direct to you. That stick is not a walking stick. It has its powers. Use them wisely. Lead your people. In the hierarchy here, Chief Philip Eric will head the Council of Chiefs in Guyana. He will lead the Council of Chiefs, and that council will fall under him and all the Queen Mothers. At some point, we shall invite you to Africa to pay homage to the ancestors directly. We've got Chief Robinson, who is also one of your own sons. We've got Chief Samson Esudu, who is our ambassador in this country. He will also sit in the council with you. We will also be sitting with Queen Aminata Asante II, who is the Queen directly under Diaspora African Kingdom Alliances. We only have one princess in Guyana, who is legit, who is Princess Shibaki Apadet. There she goes. We've got 3 Queen Mothers. The one you see is behind you. Anybody say Queen Mother, you have to think twice. And now we've got Ibot Hero, who is also a full Queen Mother and the leader of your community. The 3rd Queen Mother, who is the overseer of the Rastafarian family, is called Esther. Is the Queen Mother. Is she, what community is she from? Babi? Minden. Linden. Esther is a Queen Mother, overseeing our brothers, the Rastafarian brothers. Please listen to her. She's the light afar. What she speaks is strength. We also have only one queen in Guyana, who is Queen Ashanud Achong. That is Dr. Hilary Brown, who is a Jamaican and lives here. That's the only queen. When you hear that queen in Guyana here, it's the only one we know. If there are others, we don't deny, but they do not have our authority. There could be a queen. More queens will come, more princesses will come, more Queen Mothers will come. Chief Eric Phillips, they can take the photos, but I want to place this authority under you that all our chiefs, there is one chief called Mohammed Etori Odinga from Under naming. It's Mohammed Odinga, and his true name is Etori. So it's also called as a chief. If Eric, you have to have all the chiefs under your structure. All of you will make up a council. You will defend your land. You will defend your rights. You will defend your people. You will be collective. Your children will grow with the knowledge of their ancestors. David, you are encyclopedia. That knowledge passes it down to the young generation. Emuria Kolia, I take a composite. Well, and please come and take a group photo with our new chiefs and queen.
Okay.
Okay, we shall have 5 minutes to take photographs with the whole community before we proceed. So please, your father is here, the husband, the wife. If you want to come and take a photo, please come and join the group. We have 5 minutes.
Family members.
Family members,
Buxtonians,
please come.
you have one with all the children of the...
Let's have a dance first, let the children come and sit down in the back.
Go on stage. Stand on the stage so that you can get
Not possible.
Is everybody in the frame now?
Well, it will be. Oh, just got
Can you
it.
come a little bit closer?
Good.
Is it better now in the frame?
Ah, yeah, yeah. Good.
On the stage?
Please join us, the group